Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night. This is our customer care call. There are two teams merging here just to focus on how to care for the people that we sign up and get on these products. My name is Megan Dykstra. I'm a senior Ruby ambassador with my sponsor is Jody DeBoer. So she leads Team Iron. So I'm one part of this call, and then Brittany Albers is the other part. If you want to quick introduce yourself, you can.
Sure. I'm Brittany Albers, and I'm with my direct upline is Kara Carrington, and then we are under Emily Burgess. We're team Rising Jewels. So Megan and I met when we did a different challenge back in like January, I think. So it's been fun to kind of merge our teams and do some of these team training calls.
Cool. So I think this is a topic that most of us are like we need this encouragement, and it can be frustrating, but we want this to be enjoyable for both you and your ambassadors because we want them to feel good, but we want to give you guys the tools to help them do that more long term. So this is for anyone that has obviously enrolled at least one person, which is probably all of us on this call. You, as their sponsor, are solely responsible for the follow-up. It's nobody else's job. Whether you have one person that is under you or 100, you are your own business. And so if you want results of a business, you need to own it like a business, and that includes customer care. So like, I love that Plexus gives you the opportunity to be your own marketing department, you're your own sales department, you're your own customer care. So you're doing all of that, and you get to know people so well because you get that whole well-rounded perspective in each of these relationships that you have with the people that you're enrolling and helping start their health journey. Don't get mad if people stop, but I do think if you have a huge issue where people aren't retaining, especially within the first 90 days, I think there's a point where you can say, okay, is there something that I need to do differently? Do I need to pivot? This is not about like shaming, throwing you guys down the toilet. This is about giving you the tools that you need to maybe just make a few pivots or shifts and in the things that you're doing in those first 90 days to really help them, because the 90-day mark is a huge mark, to help them stay on it longer, like even a year longer. So if we can get three products for 3 months for these people, chances are they'll be around a lot longer if they stick it out for those first 90 days. So I would love to hear when you enroll somebody, when you get off the phone enrolling, that's the like golden method, or if you happen to send them instructions and they sign up on their own and you get the email that they signed up, what is your first reaction? I want you to put it in the chat. Are you like, whew, relief, that was like tough, I'm glad we sealed the deal, we got that done? Or are you like excited, or are you nervous, like, gosh, I hope they don't quit and return their products next week? Like, what is your initial feeling when you get off the phone after you've enrolled them, or when you get that email that you have a new level 1? I would love to just hear your initial thoughts. What are some of those feelings that you guys have? You can throw it in the chat. In the meantime, I do want to say enrolling somebody is not like a seal the deal. I know we use that term sometimes, like, let's seal the deal, let's follow up. But really, it is like, that's really just opening the door. And then there's like these long hallways, and they're like, I don't really know where to go. You are their guide, and it's your job to take them down the next step. It's really just the beginning. So that's the exciting part. And it is a relief, I will say. Like, I love that. I'm like, okay, good. We finally got through that conversation. I'm glad they because all of us were scared to say yes, I'm sure. So it's awesome when they finally say yes. Okay, Christina said she's excited to see. Good, you're sharing that excitement and you're excited for them to start. So regardless of what you feel when they enroll, know that that's the beginning of follow-up, which is even the more exciting part. Customer care and providing that experience is what's going to help them stick around and also get good results. Essentially, retention and customer service serves both you and them. Obviously, we want to help them with the right dosage, figuring out what works best for them. But also when they're doing that and when they're getting good results, you're going to be happier because you're not seeing people fall off the bandwagon. And so really it's a win-win. When you're investing in them, you're building that relationship with them, you're helping them see results because they're investing some good money in this and you want them to see results. You're not just gonna be like, oh good, this is not a sale. If this you wanted to do sales, you can go get a sales job and then you don't follow up with those people out in the real world. But when you are doing something like Plexus, you are obviously making money because of the work that you're putting into helping them sign up, but then you get to invest in them long term. So it's a win-win both for you and for them when you do follow up because it just grows that excitement, it grows that experience for both of you. And we want to focus on quality over, no, yeah, quality over quantity. It's really ideal if we enroll 3 people in a month and have great follow up for the next 3 months, that all 3 of them are still on versus like going crazy and then all of a sudden you enroll 6 to 8 people and only maybe 1 or 2 are taking them by month 3. That's stressful because you're doing a lot of that busy work at the beginning and then you're not seeing and you get frustrated. So it's a lot of like highs and lows, roller coaster feel. It's awesome if you can enroll that many people and then you just have to be really on top of following up with them. So know that this is to create a sustainable long-term growth for both you and your business and having that good experience for both of you. And one more thing, if they are happy and have a great experience, what do you think they're going to do more likely? If you go to get your hair cut and you have a great hairstylist, she does your hair so good, and she talks to you, right? She is very personable. I love that. I only get my hair cut like once or twice a year, and I love the girl that I go to. And because of that, I refer people to her. And so she doesn't see me just as like the $100. I did get my hair like colored last time, so it was like 100 whatever dollars. She doesn't see me just as that $100, but if I refer 5 people, and she is like good with her experience with all these people, she sees that as an investment of 500 people, $500 instead of just one person. So if you're invested in one person but thinking I can care for them well, they're going to be worth a lot more money long term. Not that you're thinking of friends as numbers, but in a real business way, there is money involved in this. And so like when you take care of people well, it can be exponential growth both people-wise and financially. So take care of your people because they're more likely to refer somebody and also get their products paid for that way. So one more question for you guys in the chat. What was a good business experience for you as far as like customer service wise, whether it was like at a certain store or restaurant that you have referred people to? Like what type of things is it a specific restaurant? You can put the name of the restaurant in the chat. If it is an online store that you shop at, what type of things do you refer people to? And in the meantime, I will pass it over to Brittany.
Okay, thanks, Megan. That was awesome. I loved everything you had to say. And just to what you just said about how like referring people, I had an experience where I had an ambassador. I had enrolled, this was probably the first year I was doing it. And she had quite a bit of detox at the beginning. It was really rough for her. I was staying in contact with her, but ultimately she just couldn't do it at that time. She had a lot going on personally, and she just quit responding to me. And I always like felt bad because I was like, what could I have done better? Things like that. But what ended up happening is she gave her product to a friend of hers and referred me to that friend. And then that friend enrolled with me as an ambassador, and she still takes the product. She still loves the product. So like, even though that person maybe didn't like have a great experience on the products just because she was not in the right place or it wasn't the right time, I still got an ambassador from that situation because I was continuing to follow up. So I just thought that was really cool to mention that. And it worked in nicely with what you just said. So I am going to talk about the new ambassadors, and then Megan is going to talk about current. So I'm going to talk about new. And like Megan mentioned, When you are enrolling someone, the like gold standard we all know is to enroll them over the phone. This is not something that I did when I first started. I was scared. I was chicken. I was like, I'll just send you these instructions. We can like talk through it, whatever. But it has been so much better now that I'm like making that commitment and stepping outside of my comfort zone to talk to those people on the phone. Because if you've watched any videos on this, like there really is, that's where your relationship, aside from the conversation you've had before, that's where it starts. And that's where they see like who you really are, what you're really doing, and maybe can they do this themselves. And it also just allows you to continue relationship building. And then we all know that one tricky part that comes with the social security number. And people don't always like that. And another personal experience I just had on Sunday, I could not get this girl on the phone. She was busy. And I was like, okay, do you want me to enter your info in myself? And she said, yes, that's fine. So I sent her what I needed, social security number included. And she didn't send it to me. And I'm like, okay. So I typed in all the information and I said, hey, can you send me your birthday and your social security number? And she sent me her birthday. I'm going to read the text. And she said, I don't give out my social security number. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Well, when you enroll as an ambassador, that's required. But we can do this over the phone later, or you could just do a preferred customer, like just not making it weird, like just saying, okay, here's the options that you have. And she said, okay, well, I just get nervous giving it out, but I trust you. And so she gave it to me. So like, I fully believe that because, again, we weren't on the phone, but because I'm like just being upfront and honest with her, and I'm just like right there with her, not just giving her instructions to do it herself, she went through with it. Because I truly think that if she would have had to do that herself, she would not have followed through with that. And I've had that happen to me before. So anyways, enroll over the phone. Very, very important. And this is a script that was shared with me from one of my level 1, Shelby. She's on the call. She did momentum movement. And just something that when you're starting someone up, encouraging them to find their person, find their one person. So here's just a script, and I can share this in the chat. It says, very, very simple. Something that everyone does that starts with Plexus with me is they all start with a friend. It's literally just what everyone likes to do and helps them be so much more successful to reach their goals. So I want to help you do the same thing because it's worked so well for others. Who can you think of that would love to do this with you or benefit from the product? So when you're on the phone, like that just gives you that option to say that over the phone. You can also send it in a message, but there's just something about that, just that voice, when they can hear your voice and your tone and what you're saying. So, okay, so let's go into the follow-up system. One more thing that I wanted to mention off of what Megan said is, again, if you watch any of Brooke Hemingway, there's a Gold Mastermind series, and she just mentioned, like she was talking about customer care and follow-up, and she mentioned in the video, she said, if you're not going to take care of them, just don't sign them up. Just don't do it, because it's not beneficial to them and it's not beneficial to you either. So when you're wanting to do this and do this business or just help friends, like just make sure that you're willing to follow up with them and take care of them. So it's very, very important. Let's see here. Okay. So for the first month after you enroll someone, you're going to do 4 check-ins. Okay. And so I know that Megan mentioned her team does a welcome email. So they send out a welcome email that includes like I think the dosage chart, the referral program. And then do you send a video, Megan? I can't remember if you said that.
I personally have like a little recorded video of me and my own account just saying, hey, here's a quick little tour of your account and where you would click to manage your subscription or change the date. Here's the tab where you'll see the perks and you can redeem those. I do it all less than like in a 2-minute video, because then you can send it through text or message, but that's
Mhm.
just generic. So I don't do that every time. I just have a generic one unless I happen to be on the phone with them and still in their account afterwards, then I'll make a personalized one in their
Okay.
specific account.
Yeah. Okay, so that's always a good option to set up a little email to send to them. What I typically do is I'll get them enrolled, and then the next day I will send them a video. It's Brooke Hemingway again. She's awesome. So it's just a really short what to expect when getting started with Plexus. I'll send them a message. I'll just read it to you right now, and I'll just say, "Hey, I'm so excited for you to get your products and start your health journey to feeling better. While you wait for your products, here's a video about what to expect when getting started with Plexus." So that just kind of, again, gets them excited because you never know what's going on with them. They may be regretting their decision right after they purchased it, or maybe they don't have a supportive spouse, or who knows. So you just, again, are being excited for them and sending them that video. It talks about detox. It talks about what to expect with natural healing, just so when those things happen, they're prepared for that. And we all know we're already talking about that on the phone too. And then I will usually check in over the next, like I'll tell them, let me know when you get your products, and I'll send you a starting guide. And that's when I send the dosage chart when they get their products and they say, "Hey, I got my products." And then I'll say, "Okay, awesome. Here is a starting guide for you to get started with." Um, but they don't always let you know. So I always make sure I write in my notebook, like check in like 3 to 5 days after they've ordered, because that's typically when the products will come in. Ash, I will do that. um okay, and then so here's one thing, like I will say, when I first started doing this, I was not good about writing people's names down in my, like, when to check in with them, because I had a small team. Like, I didn't have very many people that I had to manage or check in with. But as your team grows and as get bigger, I cannot keep track of all that. So just start with good habits now and write down those names. I just go in my planner and I write down on the dates, like 3 to 5 days from now, check in with Sally. 1 week, Sally, check in. 2 weeks, Sally, check in. Week 4, check in and sub, let her know that her sub's coming out. So I'll get into that. So you're going to do 3 to 5 days after they order. And then when they get their products, you're going to check in at 3 days later, say, "Hey, how's it going?" I have a whole bunch of scripts. I don't know if I want to go through all of them like word for word, but I'll just say with that first check-in, "Hey, I wanted to check in with you, and what do you think of the pink drink?" So that kind of gives them, they can let me know if they haven't tasted it, what they're thinking. Or if they have tasted it before, you can say, "Hey, I just want to check in and see how things are going. Have you figured out a good routine to stay consistent with your products?" Um, and then, you'll talk through that the next week. "Hey, here for our weekly check-in. Have you been able to, again, stay in that consistent routine, or are you noticing any detox symptoms? Is there anything we need to troubleshoot?" I will send all this to my team as well. And I guess I can send it to you too, Megan. Um, and then the following week, for that third week check-in, I like to say, "What are you loving about your product?" So that just kind of takes away that, like, okay, how are things going? How are you doing? Like that, maybe that they're expecting that they should be at a certain point. Instead, I like to leave that open to them to just say, "What are you loving about your product?" So then they can tell me what they're loving. And then, because if you just say, "How's it going?" they might think of all the things that are not going right, or that they're not seeing anything. So you just want to, just that wording, just changing that wording just a little bit to get, again, really excited for them, and let them share with you what they're loving about it. And then at week 4, you're almost a month in. I know the first month can seem to be just getting into your routine and finding that sweet spot with everything, but hopefully you're seeing some small changes and feel like you're getting into a good rhythm. Month 2 and 3 are my favorite because that's where I really started to see changes and feel great. Is there anything you need help with? And then they'll respond and you'll say, "Okay, I just wanted to remind you that your automatic subscription is set to come out on this day. Is there anything you want to try with this next order, or keep your same combo?" So this was on our call that we had with our team at the beginning of April, Joanna Miller, she just said, you know, I don't even say, do you still want it to come out, or like anything like that. Just be like, this is normal. This is part of it. It's going to come out. This is for your benefit so that you stay consistent with those products, but also just letting them know you can always edit or adjust that too. And so, you know, I think that, like Megan mentioned, this is not like sales. This is so different. This is relationship building. And I think sometimes people aren't really ready to, like, they get a little taken aback by us checking in sometimes. Like, they're just, not that it's bad, they're just not used to that. They're not used to that follow-up and that really good customer care with a lot of network marketing businesses. And I'm not bashing anything, but I've been a part of one, like I have a subscription with I'll just say it, it's Beachbody. But like my coach, or like my person I'm with, like I've never heard from her ever, not once. And so, you know, like that's what people kind of expect. They don't expect that. And so, you know, they may not respond right away, or they may not respond the first time, but still keep trying and still keep following up with them, because it is important. They've spent the money. You want them to get their money's worth, but also to have the best experience possible. And always celebrate every single win that they have, even if it, you know, whatever it is, just say like, that is so awesome. I'm so glad you're experiencing those changes. And so many people are dealing with that as well. Would you want to share that with someone? Or, you know, just really encouraging that to share with their friends and family, because people are dealing with a lot of issues, silently struggling. So just something to remember there. One thing that was mentioned or suggested was at that fourth check-in, if you want to, if you financially can, to say, you know what, I am going to, or I have a little gift for you at that 4-week mark. So before your sub comes out, like maybe you want to do like a $5 rebate or a $10 rebate, just as a thank you for their order, for their next order. Again, that's not necessary. I have never done that. If you financially can, you can, but also just a thank you card is nice. One thing I like to do with my new people, or I've started doing, is sending a thank you card, a sample of like Active, or maybe the kids drink, or a Joyome, or something. And then one of these sheets, it's a Track It sheet. And I think you can get these on the website, but it's just a Live It, Love It, Track It. They mark what health goals they have, you know, where they're at getting started, when they're taking their products. And then on the back, it has just like non-scale victories and what they're noticing. So just something like nice that they can like write their stuff down, a thank you card to let them know, you know, just thank you for your business, just to let them know you're thinking of them. I think that's it. And of course, if you haven't connected them to your team page at this point, then go ahead and do that. So yeah, I think that's everything I have, Megan.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. I love all the different tips and ideas, and know that like you guys can tailor it to whatever works best for you. I use my phone reminders for mine, and I just see it pop up. I set it like 3 days before, but in the reminder itself, I say like, you know, Aaron's sub going out on the 25th, but I set my reminder for the 20th so that I know, you know, when I don't have to go back to my virtual office and look necessarily. Okay, now we're going to transition to current product takers. This is like people that maybe have been on for a couple months, and or even within that first 3-month window. I like to emphasize the virtual office. You can't break it. I encourage you to look at it at least 3 times a week. But the more you can look at it, the easier it is, especially even if you have 5 people on your team. It's so good. You can sort by subscription. So when you go in your points and rank box and you see your whole team there, you click subscription. It will sort by like chronological subscription. So I'll see, okay, all of the, you know, first of the month, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if I sort by subscription, everyone that has already gone out this month will be booted to the bottom. So I'll see this week, okay, I see all of the 20s going out this week, you know, April 20, April 21. That gives me a chance to first identify people that have less than 100 PV. within this week, it's kind of prioritizing by time. I like to work by week more than month. And then I see who has less than 100 PV. Those are my first people I want to follow up with. They're still my ambassadors. I want them to really take advantage of the full membership that they have paid for, and that is helping them get to 100 PV. I'm not asking them to pay more money. I am asking them or helping them identify one more product they could add or two more products they could add to help them get better results, but also get $10 of product credit. So making sure that they know about perks. And so really sitting down, looking at the virtual office is what will help you with follow-up for the weeks ahead. So looking at less than 100 PV, prioritizing them, and then looking at, okay, maybe who are some people I don't talk to that much? You know, it's not a friend that's ordering. Maybe it's some like, maybe it's your friend's aunt and you don't really connect with them personally that much. You can send them a text and just say, hey, I wanted to check in with you. It's been a couple months. How are you feeling? You can prioritize those people too. Just so you're kind of like, I don't have a personal system necessarily for them, but just so you're kind of checking in, seeing who you haven't talked to in a while. Another thing I like to prioritize is people that have ordered in the last, you know, if I look right now, if I look and see a February join date, those people are going to be ordering month 3 right now. What happens on month 3? They get their free product because they have 350 perk points. So before their sub goes out this week, I want to say, hey, your 3rd order is coming up. I'm so excited for you. You get to choose a free product. Have you looked into the perk portal yet, or the perks tab? And if they say no, we have a video we can tag our people in. I'm sure there's a system that you guys have, but make sure that they know about that, because you don't want them to all of a sudden have 1,000 perks and utilize it all on their Triflex and then they don't order 100 PV some month. So those are a couple of the things I like to prioritize when I search or sort by subscriptions and look for the upcoming week. Another thing to do with current product takers, if there's life events like they're having a baby or they are going to get married, you can just send them a card with a fun stick of active in it, or if you ever get extra sample credits in your app, you can send them a sample and then just send them a text saying, hey, I'm just sending you some fun mail, wanting you to enjoy this before your like wedding or something like that. So just little things that you might not even have to pay for if you earn like free sample credits. Everyone as part of customer care needs to know about their 3 free samples, speaking of, and the referral bonuses. So make sure you're telling people about that, because you never know if they have somebody that would obviously be blessed by the products, but then it would also benefit your current product taker. Like if you went to Starbucks and there was some referral bonus program going on and no one told you, you would all be so mad. Like we would want to know, hey, I brought a friend in and we're both ordering the same drink and I get $10 for it, or I get a free drink because of it. That would be awesome. We would all take advantage of that. So make sure your people know about the referral bonuses. Happy product takers, invite them to your team events. That's still something that will help build their belief. It's still something that you can do to just create that experience for them to learn more. They might learn about a new product and add it to their order. They might think of somebody else because they hear a testimony and invite a friend into it. So don't just wipe them off your plate because they've enrolled and they're past 3 months. Make sure you still invite them to things, because that will just help fuel their belief, and maybe they'll be on one of these calls someday. So that is kind of just my tips of how to take care of current product takers. Obviously, you can get the $5 bath bombs, $5 gift cards, whatever you want to do randomly to surprise them if you would like to. But just know that these are things already in our system that we can utilize and take care of them really well. And I think Brett has a couple things here.
Sorry, I had a helper come in. Okay. So let's talk about how we can move forward and what changes we can make. That's what you're talking about, right, Megan? I'm not missing anything, am I?
Yeah, you're good. We can just talk quickly about action steps.
Okay.
If you guys have questions, just throw them in the chat right now. We only have 5 minutes, so we'll make it snappy.
Okay. So here are a couple questions, action steps that we can do here. So what is one new thing you will implement with your enrollment process to help them feel more valued, like maybe a phone call enrollment or sending a testimony the next day to encourage them, that's a great option while they wait on their products. It doesn't have to come from those gifts or like free memberships. Like you don't have to financially give to people to add value to them. So just remember that if you're not in a place to do that right now. 2, what is one new thing you will implement after they enroll to provide better customer care? Like, putting in your phone reminders, like writing check-in dates down, like how are you going to implement that to make sure you are checking in with them, like sending personal welcome emails, a handwritten note. We've talked about all these things, personal or like a video on how to navigate everything like Megan said she did for her team. I know that Kara also made 3 videos for our team as well. If you're wanting those, just let me know. What is one area you're currently rocking at customer care? I want you guys to put that in the chat. And then write down initials or set a reminder of 3 people or current product takers you're going to check in with tomorrow. I want to say one more thing. Something that I've started doing as like our team has gotten bigger, just for my sake of keeping my mind straight, is I pick one day to do customer care. Like, and that just really helps. I know it's hard because you're like, oh, I need to be like doing my new reach outs and all that stuff, but we have to take care of our people first. And so like Megan mentioned before, if we're just like enrolling 3 new people, 5 new people every month, and then they drop off the next month, like it's just, we're doing the same thing over and over again. So we have to take care of those people. So picking one day of the week, whatever that day is, to that day is customer care day. That's all you're doing. You're following up with your people, your customers, and then you can use what they tell you and take little pictures of it, screenshots, and share those, because you can share those on your social media. And that's just a great testimony to share. Let's see. Shelby, thinking of adding those videos Kara made into my welcome emails I send out to new ambassadors. That's awesome. And then Christina, I'd like to start emailing them after they enroll, have a more regular check-in process and thank you cards and samples. Okay, yeah. So those are 4 things that I want you guys to think about. The next action steps that you need to take like this coming week, because if we know that we can't just consume all this information without doing something with it, because that's not going to serve us or anyone else. What questions do you guys have? I like that, Julie. Thank you notes. I like thank you notes. I like handwritten notes. I think that's really just like personal, and I just like sending mail sometimes. I don't like getting to the post office, but I like sending mail. Engage app has helpful messages to send to new ambassadors and reminders. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Plexus has so many systems, which I love because you can kind of pick and choose what works for you. So.
Oh, you're welcome,
Good.
Christina. I'm glad.
Shelby, quick question about referral bonuses when talking about enrolling. Okay, what Brittany was saying, when you get to Social Security, I just say, hey, the next number they're going to ask you for is a referral bonus, or sorry, is your Social Security, and that's for referral bonuses specifically. So if you make over $600 in a year, like I do, if you do, you can say that. You'll get a tax form that you just hand to your accountant. If you only refer just 1 to 2 friends in a year, you'll get, it's just tax-free money that you can use towards your products. And so that's why they're asking for that number. So go ahead and put it in, and you just tell them to do it. But yeah, or sometimes I'll say, if you refer 3 friends in the first 30 days, you'll get $300, which helps cover your first 90-day trial period type of thing. So those are a couple options, or you can send that in an email as well. So I think that's all. We're running out of time, but I'm so thankful you guys hopped on here. And I hope you guys have a great night. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Megan.
See ya.